What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. We did it again. We watched another film. Did you check it out? Because man, oh man, this one was really good. First of all, hello. It's me again, Carson Higgins, with my buddy Groot, as always. We're just in a little different space. I kind of like switching it up. Anyway, we're in a different space, but we watched an incredible movie this week. We watched something that I've been meaning to watch for a very long time. I had only really found out about it from the Letterboxd. If you aren't on Letterboxd, by the way, it's a really fun thing. It's kind of like social media for movie people, where you can like rate movies, make lists, kind of keep track of what you watched and whatnot. And there's this top 250, best rated whatever. And our film this week has been very high up on that list for a very long time. I'm pretty sure that's where I first was like, what the hell is that? And without further ado, we watched an animated film this week. It's only our second animated film we've ever watched. And the first one we watched was like seemingly not that long ago. But the fine people at the Criterion Channel just put up a bunch of art house animation. And the film that I had been wanting to watch was on there. So boom, we watched Don Hertzfeldt's 2012 film. It's such a beautiful day. And it really is. It is such a beautiful day outside. I'm gonna go out there the second this is done. But while we're here, I'm gonna talk about this movie because it blew my mind off. And I'm sure if you watched it, it probably blew your mind off too. I was like, how could this hour-long cartoon be so good? Like what could possibly be happening in this movie that's so good? And there's so much that makes it good. First of all, we got to just give props to the man who created it, Don Hertzfeldt. He wrote it, he directed it, he animated it, he voiced it, he produced it. It's his project. And he used a very cool technique to make this movie. It looks every once in a while like David Lynch's Eraserhead. It also looks every once in a while like a Bergman film. It also feels every once in a while like a Tarkovsky film. And yet it is very much like an American film. It feels like, I don't know, man. There's something about it. And I'm clearly not alone because it has like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It's constantly being listed as like the best animated movie ever. And as more and more people discover this film, it's just going to continue to be a thing where It's Such a Beautiful Day is just one of those movies that we all talk about as one of the best. Let's get down to it. Don Hertzfeldt was kind of a young phenom, right? He was doing well in film festivals. He was nominated for an early short that he did that is very much worth your time if you've never seen it. It's called Rejected. Maybe you have seen it actually, or like parts of it will feel familiar to you. Because I was like, I've seen this. And it was nominated for Best Animated Short at the Academy Awards. And he was then nominated again much later for something he made after this film that we're talking about. But Don Hertzfeldt very much still making stuff, still kicking ass. The movie we watched is actually a trilogy of shorts that he made that were then sewn together to tell one story about Bill, our stick figure hero in this movie. And Bill is a profoundly cinematic character. He's really stuck with me. I love Bill, and I think you probably do too. If you watched the movie, you love Bill as well. I knew very little going into this movie, and I think I benefited from that. So if you haven't watched the movie, stop watching me talk about it. Go watch it. It's an hour long. Go watch it, and then watch this. But yeah, it starts with this very dry sense of humor. The people I was watching it with, we were laughing, enjoying the kind of mundane, existential observations of Bill's life. The way that it is made is incredible. It's like instead of one frame that everything happens within, there's little bubbles of stuff happening, almost like more like a comic book strip, like brought to life. It's like instead of word bubbles coming out, it's like the whole image is a little bubble. Anyway, it's just a very cool use of whatever the hell camera that is that he made this movie with. It's all like pencil drawings that he just took pictures of. And then there's like real stuff in there as well. Like there's the "I love you" written in the sand. There's so many little things in this movie that make it kind of this big thing. It's like the handmade, homemade nature of it is like immediately noticeable, and it only makes it better. Like you're not looking at it like, oh, this is cheap. It just looks simple in a good way, like minimalist, like a Zen garden. I'll shut up. But yeah, the humor at the beginning is great, and then we slowly kind of are unfolding this thing that he has some kind of degenerative brain disease, where it's unclear if he is like experiencing psychosis, schizophrenic episodes, or if he's got dementia. There's something happening with his mind, and throughout the course of the film, we're led to believe that it's like this hereditary thing through other family members that have dealt with similar things. But then as it all progresses, and as we like get to know Bill a little bit, and we start to understand kind of what this whole film is dealing with, the melancholy kind of starts to set in, and the sadness really becomes beautiful, but really devastating. I mean, there's the sequence in part 3 where I forget exactly what he says, but he's like, it's such a darn nice day outside, and he just does this like repeated action, and he's forgetting that he's doing it, and every time that he gets back to his apartment and decides to go for the walk again, it's almost like it hurts more and more every time he does it. Yeah, I wrote down just like a bunch of random things in a row, so check this out. Fish head, bus stop, the random habitual parts of life. That sequence where it's like he drops his keys and he's turning on and off the lamp, and he's like, my life is all of these moments, and the part that's unusual is all the other shit. And I was just like, wow. The story about the boy with the aluminum hook hands, his grandma with the cat heads, the lunch notes that I'm so proud of you, the family member who was hit by a train, his neighbor in the hospital who only ever says I'm in pain. Dude, there's so many little things in this movie that are just devastating, and it really, I mean, that's the word to describe this movie. But it like, in less of kind of like a icky way, which is maybe not even that's an unfair characterization of Eraserhead, but there were a lot of things that this movie and Eraserhead, like, they were reminding me of each other. There's seemingly some David Lynch inspiration, or just love, or even just plain old, they're speaking the same language. I just love that this little stick figure guy with a hat is like the most relatable character ever. And that's precisely why, right? He's a stick figure, and he has a name and a hat. And so therefore it's like, it's pretty easy for us to just kind of put ourselves right on there. Some of the other reviews, like if you go on Rotten Tomatoes and like read some of the reviews, are some of the, when a film like really inspires a critic to write something beautiful, sometimes it makes me like the movie even more. And this film seemingly made like every critic their best selves. Like everybody that wrote a review about this movie was able to express how profoundly changed they were after watching this film. Yeah, I mean, the sequence with his dad, where it just says "you are forgiven," is soul-crushingly beautiful and wonderful. And it's hard to talk about the details of this movie, honestly, without like kind of re-feeling it all. But it's such a nice feeling. I mean, one of my favorite movies ever is Waking Life, Richard Linklater's rotoscoped animation film, which also seemingly deals with just like a lot of philosophical, existential like sort of stuff. And the fact that they're animated also kind of makes me think of it. But like Waking Life, even David O. Russell's I Heart Huckabees, right? Maybe you like that movie, maybe you don't, maybe you've never seen it. Either way, like these were the titles that were kind of running around in my head as I was watching this, where I was like, oh, that's kind of like that. So yeah, I'm just so glad that I finally watched this movie. I can't wait to watch. I believe it's called The World of Tomorrow, Don Hertzfeldt's next trilogy of cartoons. Those are apparently very, very good as well. So I'll check them out. Maybe you should check them out. Yeah, I really don't know what else to say other than Don Hertzfeldt is like one of the best people in cinema, period. Like, certainly one of the best American filmmakers ever, one of the best working today. He's still pretty young, so I mean, like, I don't even know if we've seen the best out of this guy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm big fan. Big fan. Anyway, yeah. I hope that you got something out of watching this movie as well, and that it wasn't just like a weird experience for you. Because there's just so much. I mean, like I can't wait to watch it again. I feel like it's kind of probably one of those movies that the more you watch it, the more you get. So very much looking forward to that. Anyway, we'll have another pick. So if you aren't already following us at Filmstruck Film Club, go ahead and follow us on Instagram, on Facebook. Leave a comment, like these things. Let me know what you thought of the movie or what you'd like to watch, because I'm always down to interact. Always. I know I do these alone a lot with Groot, but I'm always down to chat. I love talking about this stuff. If you haven't discovered us already, we have a podcast, the First Rule of Film Club. Go check that out. It's wherever you like to listen to podcasts. Anyway, we'll have a new pick for us. It's going to be something fun, I hope. And yeah, so enjoy whatever it is that you're up to. And man, enjoy this beautiful day.